water ready to add into it. I didn't have a lot of brine from it. It seems like a dry batch. So we're going to get some warm water to pour into it. I also need 2 quarts to put in the bottom of the canner. The steam is what makes the pressure canner work. So we need the water to be in there to form the steam. So we're going to wipe the jars down. We're going to make sure there's nothing around the rims. We need to make sure they're clean or the lids won't seal accurately. This is enough. And let all the air bubbles come on up. Sometimes you can take a knife, grab a butter knife. You can take a knife and go around the edges, getting the air bubbles out. Just kind of rock it back and forth in there to let the water get down in there. And then if we need to add more water, we can. I'm going to make sure we get a good seal. Getting all these air bubbles out. Okay, some of these have too much water in them. We're going to have to dump some out. We don't want it to come too high on the bottle. In the jar. This one's what we want it to be. It's not, it's just over the shoulder. But the sauerkraut's covered enough. This one has too much. It's too close up high. It won't have enough room to expand and it can break the jar. So I'm just going to go like this. Okay. They're all at a good level. Now we need to wipe them all off. So I'm going to get a damp paper towel. I'm going to wipe all the way around, this over and show you, all the way around the lip, the sides, the top, anything that would be blocking to make a good seal. I'm going to get that all clean. Down a couple times, make sure you get the top, there's no little strands of sauerkraut hanging on there. The jars are ready, they've been cleaned. We're going to get our hot water with the lids. I'm going to show you our, I get it colder. No more burnt fingers. So these go on, and we want to make sure we have clean rings, no rust spots on them. The rusty, make a craft out of them and throw them out. They're not good for canning anymore. The next one. We don't want a super tight turn. We want some room that the air can escape out of it. Just a hand tighten. If anything doesn't fit right, this one. There we go. Alright. I looked up in the instruction book of the canner. Sauerkraut takes 15 minutes for quart jars at 5 pounds of pressure. So we're going to pressure canner ready now. There's the lid that twists on. It has a rubber gasket. You guys want to inspect that, make sure there's no injury to it, make sure it's all still intact. There's the jar lifter. So we're going to go ahead and set some jars in there. You can fit 7 wide mouth jars in here. Now I'm going to add the 2 quarts of hot water. It's easier You have an opening that you can pour it in. And then we'll finish putting the jars in. Make sure they're all level. All good. There's the arrows that lock that in place. And here is the pressure crock. We have 5 pounds, 10 pounds, and 15 pounds. So find 5 pounds and put it on there. That's ready to go. I'm going to bring it over to the stove now. I turn it on like a medium-high heat. I don't want to blast it on high right away. We want to gently get it up to temperature. It's good there's already hot water in it. It's giving it a head start. When this starts to jiggle, that's when we start our 15 minutes on the timer. We'll turn it down. We don't want it constantly jiggling. That's too much pressure. We want it to just jiggle a couple times a minute. Then it'll be the right pressure that's in there. It's pretty much a bomb. You have pressure in there. Things can explode. Things can happen wrong. You always want to be careful. I don't stand in the kitchen when it's going. Not that I'm scared of it, but I don't need to be hovering over it or anything. So we'll leave it, let it warm up a little bit, and check on it in a little bit. So we just heard the shake of the steam. I sometimes come and bump it. I can hear like the water boiling in there, so I kind of listen every once in a while and just bump it every once in a while, make sure it's not stuck on anything, make sure it's working well. And then we can start to turn it down. It goes down on my stove. It's like a 4.5, and the number that I usually end up leaving it at, that it sets for 15 minutes. So we can start our timer for the 15 minutes because it did the first rattle. Now that's almost a little too long to let it go. I'm going to start turning it down now. Okay, the timer just beeped. It's been cooking for 15 minutes in the pressure canner. Now we're going to turn the burner off and let it cool down. Sometimes after a while I'll slide it over a little bit to keep it off of the heat. And then I have a towel ready to, when we lift the jars out, they're going to sit on here and chill. They need to set overnight without being bothered, so you need to set them in an area that it's not going to be in the way of anything for the next evening. So we're going to wait for these to cool down. I kind of take the wooden spoon again and kind of dance that around a little bit. It'll help the steam come out a little faster. And then once it's not moving at all, I'll slide it over and with hot pad holders remove it off of there, let the steam come out, and then we can unlock it. You can't even unlock it until the steam has all come out. So it's just a matter of waiting for that for now. Okay. The steam has stopped coming out. I can lift the pressure crock off and there's not much sound coming out. So I'm going to take the hot pad holder and remove that. Still going to wait a little bit till I finally remove it. It's really hot now. The steam, the pressure builds it up so that it gets it to a higher temperature to can it. Okay. If it wiggles easily, it'll be good to take the lid off. And then I'm just going to let that kind of sit in there a little bit. The steam is still coming out. We don't want to drastically change the temperature. We want it to gently come down to temperature. It's super hot in there. Maybe it gets up to 140 degrees, or 240 degrees instead of the 212 at boiling, which a normal water bath would be. I like doing it the pressure canner because it's quicker. We're ready to take the lid off now. Let those cool maybe 5 minutes, and The lids are all raised above. When they cool, the lids will be sucked down in, and that's when you know they're sealed. You'll hear them popping. But we will lift them out and put them on this towel to finish cooling. In the meantime, I've filled the next set of jars with the sauerkraut. I have the lids warming up, the rings counted out, and as soon as these come out, I'll make sure there's the 2 quarts of water in the bottom and load it up for the next batch. These are extremely hot. Sometimes the shock of just being in open air can cause them to crack. So I carefully, you don't want to set them on a wet towel, so that's it's just like a Pyrex jar. If you set a hot pan on cold water, it'll shatter. So leave a little space in between them. Don't let them touch anything else. They're going to stay in that same position until morning. By then they'll be completely cool throughout the night. We'll be able to hear the popping sound of them sealing. If they don't seal by next morning, you're having sauerkraut for lunch. Just go ahead and put them in the refrigerator then and eat it within a couple weeks. Those all look really good. And then put a dry towel over them to shield them from any cold air currents or anything that would disturb them. So they're just gonna hang out there for the rest of the evening. I'm gonna get the next batch ready and we'll see you at the end. We'll show you what everything looks like and how they're sunken down in, that they're sealed.
Come on, go over there. Go!
You're not gonna zoom in on my face.
I'm not.
Okay, ready?
Recording already?
Yeah.
How long? Okay,
The whole time probably.
here we go, folks. Welcome to Solid Rock Life. This is the blooper section. Well, in between we make the sauerkraut, we make our dinner. It is 8:41, folks, and we are having blueberry banana pancakes. This is how we do it.
You hear that lovely sizzle?
That, my friends, is the sound of bananas caramelizing. Best thing ever. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day. It's still on, isn't it?
Of course.
Yeah. I hope Dad puts this in the bloopers. We
I
haven't done bloopers.
don't think he does bloopers.
I want him to. He said he would do like an entire video.
I'm gonna do
bloopers.
still.